There is a kind of strength that does not need to be loud, a kind of intelligence that does not need to prove itself. The most powerful women in the world move quietly. They do not need to shout to be heard. Their energy speaks before their words ever do. Before you go any further, I want you to listen till the end because what you will hear in this video might awaken a version of yourself that you have never met before. The reward for your time is simple. By the end, you will not only understand how intelligent women think, but you will feel a fire inside you that pushes you to rise beyond the limits you once accepted. Every woman carries two voices inside her, one that doubts and another that knows. The first tells her she is not enough. The second whispers that she was born for more. The difference between them is which one she decides to feed every single day. Intelligent women feed the voice of strength. They train their mind to believe in what they can become instead of what they fear. The power of an intelligent woman begins in silence. She's not desperate to explain her worth. She lets her actions do that. When the world doubts her, she does not argue. She simply works. Her silence is not emptiness, it is focus. While others chase attention, she chases growth. She understands that energy wasted on convincing people could be used on building herself. Psychology teaches us that silence creates mystery, and mystery creates respect. Intelligent women know this. They use silence as a tool to protect their peace and their energy. When they walk into a room, they do not need to demand space. Their calmness creates it naturally. People are drawn to them not because they try to impress, but because they carry an unshakable sense of purpose. Such women are not afraid of being misunderstood. They understand that those who do not see their value are not meant to walk their path. This understanding gives them freedom. They do not cling to people or places that drain them. They choose peace over presence. This is not pride. This is wisdom. The kind of wisdom that comes from knowing your worth is not defined by how much noise you make, but by how much control you keep. An intelligent woman is not reactive. She does not let the chaos of others disturb her inner world. When someone tries to provoke her, she pauses. That pause is her power. In that moment, she chooses to rise above instead of sinking down. She knows that every reaction costs energy, and she refuses to give her power away for free. Her silence does not mean weakness. It means she understands timing. She knows when to speak and when to stay still. She knows that words are energy, and once released, they cannot return, so she measures them carefully. Her wisdom is built through self-control and self-awareness. This is why she often wins in the long run, while others exhaust themselves proving points that never mattered. The world often mistakes softness for weakness, but intelligent women prove that softness can coexist with strength. They can be gentle and firm at the same time. They do not need to crush others to feel powerful. They lift others while staying grounded themselves. Their intelligence is emotional as much as it is logical. They can sense when to lead with the heart and when to lead with the mind. True intelligence in a woman is not about what she knows, but about how she carries what she knows. It is about emotional maturity. It is about the calm confidence that comes from mastering the self. Such women do not run from pain. They face it. They allow it to teach them. They understand that every wound carries wisdom and every loss builds resilience. When life tests them, they do not collapse. They pause, they breathe, they realign. They remind themselves that nothing can destroy a woman who has already built herself from pieces. The more the world tries to shake her, the deeper she roots herself in silence and strength. That is the power the world cannot take away. No? Psychologists say confidence is built from self-trust. Intelligent women understand this deeply. They keep promises to themselves. They say they will rise and they do. They say they will move on and they do. Each time they follow through, they strengthen their belief in themselves. Over time, that belief becomes unbreakable. And when a woman truly believes in herself, she no longer needs validation. She becomes unstoppable. She becomes the calm in every storm. Her silence becomes her armor, her focus becomes her weapon, and her self-belief becomes her light. This is the silent power of intelligent women, the kind of power that cannot be faked because it comes from within. A power that does not ask for recognition but earns it. A power that moves through the world with grace, calm, and quiet confidence. So if you are still here listening, remember this. The world does not reward noise, it rewards depth. Learn to speak only when your words hold value. Learn to move with purpose, not pressure. The most intelligent woman is not the loudest in the room. She's the one who does not need to prove her worth to anyone because she already knows it. Stay with this energy because as you move forward in this journey, each habit will build on this foundation. The more you understand your silent power, the more unstoppable you become. Before an intelligent woman shapes her outer world, she first shapes her inner one. She understands that everything begins in the mind. Thoughts become beliefs and beliefs become actions. She knows that beauty without depth fades, but a strong mind never loses its shine. While others spend time comparing, she spends time preparing. She works on her thoughts, her discipline, her clarity because she knows a calm mind creates a powerful life. She does not wake up chasing validation. She wakes up chasing understanding. She studies herself like a book she has yet to finish reading. She questions her patterns, her reactions, her emotions. Instead of asking, how can I look better? She asks, how can I think better? This shift makes her different. It builds an inner confidence that no compliment can create and no insult can destroy. Psychologically, she trains her brain to focus on what she can control. She refuses to let insecurity lead her decisions. She knows attention fades, but inner growth stays. Every time she chooses to work on her mindset, she becomes harder to shake. Her peace grows deeper, her choices grow wiser, and her energy becomes magnetic. An intelligent woman understands that the mind is a mirror. Whatever she believes about herself reflects back in her actions and in how the world treats her. So she fills her mind with strength, not self-doubt. She tells herself she's capable, she's focused, she's worthy of more. Over time, these words become a reality. This is not arrogance, it is self-alignment. When her mind is clear, her path is clear. When her thoughts are pure, her actions are powerful. She learns that the most attractive quality a woman can carry is peace. Not the peace that comes from having an easy life, but the peace that comes from mastering her own mind. Because when a woman learns to rule her thoughts, she no longer needs to chase confidence, she becomes it. An intelligent woman understands that true wisdom begins with observation. She listens before she speaks and watches before she acts. Her silence allows her to see what others overlook. She reads the tone behind words and the emotion behind actions. She studies people not to judge them but to understand them. This habit gives her a deeper awareness of how the world works and how to move through it with grace. She knows that when emotions run high, perception becomes low, so she trains herself to pause and observe instead of reacting. This pause creates clarity. She notices small details, the change in someone's energy, the truth hidden between sentences, the difference between intention and performance. Through observation, she learns who deserves her energy and who only drains it. Psychology teaches that awareness is power. The more she observes, the more she understands patterns, both in others and in herself. She starts to recognize what triggers her, what inspires her, and what distracts her. This self-awareness allows her to make choices from reason, not reaction. She becomes a student of life, constantly learning from people and experiences around her. Her quiet nature is not shyness but strategy. She saves her words for when they hold weight. While others rush to respond, she absorbs. While others speak to be heard, she listens to understand. This depth makes her presence unforgettable because people feel seen when she is around. She gives attention not for approval but for insight. Over time, this habit of observation shapes her intelligence into intuition. She begins to sense things without needing proof. She trusts her instincts because they are built on awareness. This is why she rarely falls into drama or deception. She sees beyond the surface. She knows energy never lies. And when you learn to observe deeply, you start walking through life, not as a participant of chaos, but as a master of peace. The difference between ordinary strength and true power lies in emotional control. An intelligent woman understands this deeply. She knows that life will not always be gentle and people will not always be kind. Yet she refuses to give her peace away to anger or pride. She has learned that reacting in emotion often means losing in wisdom. So she pauses, she breathes, she allows her thoughts to settle before she speaks or acts. Her calmness is not a lack of feeling, but a sign of mastery. She still feels pain, sadness, and frustration, but she does not let those emotions command her behavior. She treats her emotions like waves. She watches them rise, but does not drown in them. This awareness gives her an edge that few possess. She can handle pressure without breaking because her strength is rooted inside, not borrowed from circumstance. Psychologically, she knows that emotions are messengers, not masters. They tell her what is happening within, but they do not dictate what happens next. She listens to them, but does not surrender to them. When anger appears, she asks, "What is it teaching me?" When fear speaks, she asks, "What truth is it hiding?" Through this reflection, she transforms emotional chaos into clarity. People often mistake her calmness for coldness, but it is not detachment, it is discipline. She refuses to allow temporary feelings to destroy permanent peace. She knows that every reaction has a cost, and emotional maturity means knowing when silence is stronger than response. This control builds trust in herself. She becomes steady, predictable in her energy and reliable in her actions. Her calmness draws respect because it represents inner stability. While others waste energy proving points, she saves hers for progress. This is why she moves differently. She understands that the woman who controls her emotions controls her destiny. And through this mastery, she walks through life untouchable, calm, and powerful in every storm. An intelligent woman knows that peace is not found, it is protected. She understands that her time and energy are sacred and not everyone deserves access to them. This is why she builds boundaries, not walls. Boundaries are not signs of distance, but signs of self-respect. They remind her and others where her limits begin and where disrespect ends. She no longer feels guilty for saying no. She knows that every yes carries a cost, and she refuses to spend her energy on things that do not bring growth or peace. This choice comes from awareness, not ego. She has learned that overgiving leads to emptiness and that protecting her energy is not selfish, it is survival. Psychologically, she understands that boundaries teach people how to treat her. When she allows constant interruptions, disrespect, or emotional draining, she sends a message that it is acceptable. But when she stands firm and calm in her limits, she sends another message, one that says, "I value myself." And when a woman values herself, the world begins to value her too. Setting boundaries also teaches her emotional balance. She does not argue to be understood by everyone because she realizes not everyone operates from the same level of awareness. Instead, she communicates clearly, then steps back with grace. Her calm refusal becomes her statement of strength. Through this habit, she creates a life that feels peaceful rather than chaotic. The people around her begin to reflect the energy she allows. Her circle becomes smaller but more meaningful. Her days become quieter but more fulfilling. She learns that boundaries are not barriers to love, they are gateways to self-worth. By protecting her space, she protects her growth. By protecting her energy, she protects her future. This is the unseen strength of intelligent women. They know that real power is not how much they can handle, but how much they choose not to. An intelligent woman never believes she has arrived. She knows that the mind grows only when it stays open. Every day becomes an opportunity to evolve, to understand something new about the world and about herself. She does not seek perfection, she seeks progress. Her strength comes from curiosity, from the hunger to learn, not to impress, but to expand. She spends her time feeding her mind with knowledge that builds her character and widens her perspective. Books, conversations, experiences, everything becomes a lesson. She studies people's mistakes, including her own, without shame. She asks questions instead of pretending to know. This humility becomes her silent teacher, guiding her toward wisdom that cannot be taken away. Psychologically, she understands that growth releases dopamine, the brain's reward for progress. This is why learning keeps her motivated and alive. She does not depend on external motivation because she has trained her mind to find joy in development itself. Her curiosity becomes a source of peace. It keeps her grounded and focused on improvement rather than comparison. While others chase distractions, she chases understanding. She invests her time in mastering skills that strengthen her independence. She learns emotional intelligence, self-discipline, communication, and awareness. Each piece of knowledge becomes a weapon of calm strength that helps her navigate challenges with confidence. Over time, learning becomes her lifestyle. It changes how she speaks, how she reacts, and how she thinks. She no longer sees failure as defeat, but as feedback. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes a chapter in her growth. This habit makes her unstoppable because a woman who keeps learning never becomes outdated. She evolves faster than her problems. Her wisdom becomes timeless because she is always becoming more than she was yesterday. And through this quiet hunger for growth, she turns every day into an opportunity to build the best version of herself. An intelligent woman does not fear being alone because she has learned that solitude is not emptiness, it is alignment. In quiet moments, she meets herself without distraction. She listens to her thoughts, observes her emotions, and understands what her soul truly needs. And while many search for peace in company, she finds it within her own presence. She knows that loneliness fades when solitude has purpose. Solitude becomes her teacher. It sharpens her focus and clears her mind from noise that clouds her judgment. In silence, she can see what really matters and what must be released. She reflects on her goals, her habits, and her direction. This reflection gives her clarity that no crowd could ever offer. She learns that time alone is not wasted time, it is preparation. Psychologically, solitude resets the nervous system. It allows the brain to process emotions and strengthen self-awareness. Intelligent women use this space to recharge rather than escape. They come back stronger, calmer, and more grounded. They understand that stillness is not the absence of progress, it is the foundation of it. She learns to enjoy her own company because it means she no longer depends on others to fill her emptiness. She realizes that when a woman becomes comfortable in solitude, she becomes impossible to manipulate. She does not chase attention, she attracts it naturally because her energy carries peace, not need. Through solitude, she builds inner stability. She becomes the kind of woman who can walk alone and still move forward with confidence. She does not seek validation from the world because she has already found approval within. Her calmness in solitude becomes her greatest strength. It is where she plans her growth, heals her wounds, and realigns with her power. In a world that fears silence, she stands still and listens. And in that stillness, she discovers something most people never find, the unshakable peace that comes from truly knowing herself. An intelligent woman understands that talent and intelligence mean nothing without discipline. She knows that self-control is the bridge between goals and results. While others rely on motivation, she relies on consistency. She has learned that discipline is not punishment, it is self-respect. It is the act of showing up for herself even on days when she feels no energy or excitement. She keeps promises to herself. When she decides to grow, she does not wait for perfect conditions, she creates them. She wakes early, studies, focuses, works, and repeats. Her strength lies in her routine, not her mood. She knows that the body follows the mind, and the mind follows habits. So she builds habits that make progress inevitable. Psychologically, she understands that the brain seeks comfort, but growth lives in discomfort. Every time she pushes through resistance, she trains her mind to adapt. This rewiring makes her stronger over time. The woman who once struggled to stay consistent becomes the woman who cannot imagine her life without structure. Her discipline turns into identity. She does not chase instant rewards. She plays the long game. While others look for quick results, she invests in slow and steady growth. This patience gives her an advantage because true transformation takes time. She knows that every small effort compounds into massive change. Her discipline extends beyond work. It shapes how she speaks, how she eats, how she reacts, and how she spends her time. She guards her focus because she knows distractions are silent thieves of progress. Each choice she makes builds the foundation of her future. Through self-discipline, she becomes her own leader. She no longer needs external pressure to move because her drive comes from within. This mastery gives her freedom, the freedom to direct her life instead of being controlled by impulses. And that is the art of self-discipline, turning daily effort into a lifetime of power. An intelligent woman does not measure her worth by how many people approve of her. She knows that popularity is temporary, but purpose is eternal. She has learned that chasing validation only leads to emptiness because external approval can never replace inner fulfillment. So instead of asking who will like this, she asks, does this align with who I am? She moves with quiet intention. Every choice she makes comes from vision, not from pressure. She does not follow the noise of trends because she understands that not everything loud is meaningful. Her focus stays fixed on what adds value to her life and to the lives of others. This clarity separates her from the crowd because she is guided by purpose, not opinions. Psychologically, she understands that the human mind is wired to seek belonging, but she has trained herself to belong to her mission first. She knows that fitting in can cost authenticity and she refuses to trade truth for acceptance. This inner strength gives her freedom, the freedom to stand alone when needed and to walk her own path without apology. Her purpose gives her peace. It reminds her that not everyone will understand her journey, and that is perfectly fine. She does not explain her vision to small minds because she knows results speak louder than words. While others chase attention, she chases impact. She invests her time in what outlasts applause. Through this mindset, she becomes unshakable. Praise does not distract her, and criticism does not define her. She understands that purpose-driven people move differently. They do not need to be seen to be successful because their fulfillment comes from knowing they are walking the right path. Her life becomes proof that the woman who chooses purpose over popularity never loses. She may walk alone for a while, but she walks forward with meaning. And that meaning becomes her power, power that no opinion can ever take away. An intelligent woman understands that intelligence is not only about logic, it is also about emotional depth. She knows that success in life depends on how well she manages her emotions and understands the emotions of others. Emotional intelligence allows her to navigate relationships with calmness and wisdom. It helps her respond instead of react and connect instead of confront. She listens with empathy and observes without judgment. When someone speaks, she pays attention to what is not said, the tone, the hesitation, the emotion behind the words. She understands that people act from their own pain and awareness, so she does not take everything personally. This understanding keeps her peaceful and grounded even when others are emotional. Psychologically, she knows that emotional intelligence is a sign of maturity. It means being aware of feelings without letting them control behavior. She identifies her emotions, names them, and processes them before they grow into chaos. This skill gives her stability because she does not allow temporary emotions to create permanent damage. When she faces conflict, she stays calm. She does not compete to win arguments, she seeks to understand and resolve. Her calm tone disarms aggression because her focus is peace, not power. People around her begin to trust her presence because she provides balance where others bring tension. Her emotional intelligence also shapes her self-talk. She speaks to herself with kindness and patience. She forgives herself for mistakes and learns from them instead of drowning in guilt. This compassion builds inner strength because she becomes her own source of comfort, not her own critic. Through this awareness, she gains control over her world. She becomes unshaken by chaos because she understands the language of emotions. Her calm energy becomes contagious, lifting others without even trying. This is why an emotionally intelligent woman stands out. She has mastered the rare art of staying kind, strong, and centered all at once. An intelligent woman carries her strength with grace. She understands that no matter how much she achieves, gratitude keeps her grounded. Every step forward becomes a reminder of how far she has come and how much more she can still learn. She does not see life as something owed to her. She sees it as a gift that must be respected and used with intention. She practices gratitude not only when life feels kind, but also when it challenges her. She knows that pain often hides purpose and that every difficulty teaches her patience and resilience. Gratitude shifts her focus from what is missing to what is meaningful. It calms her mind and keeps her heart open. Through this practice, she attracts peace instead of pressure. Alongside gratitude, humility. She does not seek to prove that she is better than others. She knows true intelligence does not need to shout. It shows through actions, through kindness, through quiet confidence. Humility allows her to learn from everyone regardless of status or background because she knows wisdom can come from any direction. Psychologically, she understands that gratitude rewires the brain to see possibility instead of limitation. It builds optimism and resilience. Humility balances that growth by keeping the ego silent. Together, they create inner harmony. She becomes powerful without being prideful, confident without being arrogant. People are drawn to her presence because it feels safe and genuine. She celebrates others without feeling threatened. She can uplift someone else and still shine in her own light. Her humility becomes her beauty and her gratitude becomes her strength. Through this mindset, she learns that the most intelligent women do not rise by stepping over others. They rise by staying grateful and humble through every season of life. This is the quiet power that makes her unforgettable, her ability to shine brightly while keeping her feet firmly on the ground. An intelligent woman does not run from her mistakes, she studies them. She knows that growth does not come from perfection, but from awareness. Every night she takes a moment to reflect on her choices, her words, and her actions. This habit keeps her aligned with her values and aware of where she needs to improve. She does not fear self-evaluation because she understands that honesty with oneself is the foundation of wisdom. Reflection helps her see patterns that repeat in her life. She notices when she allows the wrong people too close or when she ignores her intuition. She learns from each moment instead of blaming others. This awareness transforms regret into guidance. She grows softer in spirit but sharper in judgment. Her reflection becomes the mirror that keeps her balanced between humility and confidence. Psychologically, she knows that the brain improves through feedback. Each time she corrects herself, she strengthens her decision-making system. She does not wait for others to hold her accountable. She holds herself accountable. This responsibility gives her freedom because she no longer depends on excuses. She accepts her flaws without letting them define her. Through reflection, she also practices forgiveness. She releases the past without forgetting its lessons. She understands that guilt does not change the past, but awareness can change the future. This mindset keeps her moving forward with clarity instead of emotional weight. Self-correction becomes her silent superpower. It allows her to keep evolving while others remain trapped in denial. She adjusts her path whenever she drifts, and that consistency leads her toward mastery. The woman who reflects daily cannot stay lost for long because she always returns to truth. This habit of reflection and correction is what separates her from the rest. She is not perfect, she is progressing. And in a world that often avoids accountability, her courage to face herself becomes her greatest sign of intelligence. An intelligent woman understands that silence is not weakness, it is discipline. In moments of conflict, when emotions rise and words become weapons, she chooses stillness over reaction. She knows that silence protects her energy and gives her clarity. It is in her quiet moments that she gains control over herself and the situation around her. Instead of speaking to be heard, she speaks to create impact, and that difference changes everything. She has learned that reacting out of emotion often leads to regret. So she pauses. She lets the storm pass before she decides how to respond. This emotional control is not coldness, it is wisdom. She refuses to let temporary anger destroy permanent peace. By mastering her emotions, she holds power over herself, which is far greater than having power over others. Her silence confuses those who expect chaos. It teaches people that she cannot be manipulated through guilt, drama, or provocation. When others shout, she listens. When others demand attention, she observes. This calm confidence intimidates those who thrive on control because they cannot shake her balance. Her presence alone becomes a statement, one that speaks louder than any argument could. Through silence, she builds emotional endurance. She no longer feels the need to explain herself to everyone. She understands that not every battle deserves her energy, and not every opinion deserves a response. She conserves her strength for what truly matters, her purpose, her growth, and her peace. This ability to stay composed under pressure separates her from the impulsive and the insecure. Gives her an aura of mystery, power, and self-respect. The world may mistake her silence for indifference, but those who know better understand that it is the mark of emotional intelligence. She does not chase validation or attention. She embodies control. And in mastering silence, she becomes untouchable, commanding respect without ever having to demand it. A highly intelligent woman understands that true strength lies in detachment, not from people, but from the need to control outcomes. She has learned that peace is not found in holding on, but in letting go. Detachment allows her to experience life without being consumed by it. She gives her best to everything she does, but she no longer clings to results. If something is meant for her, it will stay. If not, she trusts that something better is on its way. This mindset frees her from emotional chaos. She no longer begs for closure or validation because she understands her worth does not depend on anyone's approval. Detachment gives her the ability to walk away gracefully from anything that disrupts her inner calm, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, or an opportunity that no longer aligns with her growth. Her peace has become her top priority and she protects it fiercely. She knows that attachment often comes from fear of being alone, of losing comfort, or of not being enough. But through self-awareness, she transforms fear into freedom. She realizes that when she releases what she cannot control, life flows effortlessly. Opportunities unfold naturally, and connections become genuine rather than forced. Her detachment doesn't make her heart cold, it makes her spirit wise. She still feels deeply, but she doesn't let emotions blind her judgment. Through this inner balance, she becomes unshakable. When life tests her, she doesn't crumble under pressure. She observes, adapts, and moves forward without bitterness. Detachment gives her the power to stand in chaos and remain centered, calm in the storm, focused on what truly matters. This quiet strength radiates from her presence. People sense it, the serenity, the confidence, the subtle knowing that she no longer depends on anything external to feel whole. Her freedom is not loud or rebellious, it is peaceful and grounded. She has mastered the art of living with open hands, giving freely, receiving gratefully, and walking away gracefully when it's time. That is the essence of true intelligence, the ability to let go and still remain complete.